Hey everyone, welcome back to the LFC Toronto show. We were gone for a week and I forgot the name apparently. So excited to have you back because we're recording on Wednesday evening at around 8 p.m. So we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I've got Jake, I've got Dan, I'm Azaz, and we've got a special guest with us today. Let's give a round of applause. Welcome to Christian.
Woo-woo. Hey, appreciate it.
So Christian, I know you've watched a couple of these episodes, so obviously we're going to get into the origin story. But before we do, please tell our viewers what you do for the club, because you are an active member of the OLSC Toronto club.
Yes, yeah. Thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller. So happy to be here. Yeah, my name's Christian. I help manage some of the social channels. So I manage the Instagram and started taking on some of the Facebook. So just keeping the engagement live and going. And there's so many good moments to celebrate this season, especially. So it's been a pretty easy job. It's kind of blending my personal and professional passions. I'm in like social and digital as my job. So it kind of fit pretty well. And getting to kind of follow the best fan club in the world on social and capture all that content has been really fun so far. So thanks for having me.
Yes, amazing. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, lad.
You know what?
Yes, lad.
You know what's really funny to me is ever since December, 3 times people have come up to me in the club and been like, oh, like I remember your video from when we beat Watford and like you almost looked like you were gonna gate crash into the camera, and that was you. That like I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. And fun fact, we'll get into the game today. I actually don't remember celebrating the first goal. Like I almost like blacked out and apparently ran around the room, but that's a conversation for later. But yeah, Christian, like it's so funny because like a couple of times 3 times actually, people have said to me that, and I was like, it's so random, like the things that social media picks up and people capture, because it was like, what, like 6 seconds of our life, like Divock scores, I ran just generally in towards the screen, you were there filming, and then the next thing you know, it's like people are, like it's just funny.
Oh, it was an epic one. Was it Watford or was it Wolves?
Watford. Sorry, it was Wolves. My bad.
Well, yeah, I thought it was maybe Wolves and stuff. It was that 94th or something ridiculous. It was a riggy time. But yeah, that's like part of the great part of the job, kind of, is capturing that emotion. Like I always am a bit in 2 minds because I'm a fan. I'm really invested, but I also am thinking like, oh wait, like this penalty or like this free kick, maybe I should have my phone at least like in grabbable distance in case, because it's always great to capture that reaction. And that was one of those kind of spontaneous moments where the whole bar erupted. And if people haven't had a chance to come to the Matty and experience one of those moments, there's like nothing like it. So definitely it was good to capture that. And honestly, that was one of our best like content so far, because I think everyone loved and just kind of really resonated with that emotion that you felt. Like we were all feeling that hype after that 94th minute winner.
Yeah. Amazing. So we want to know what made you into a Liverpool fan, like, you know, some of your memories, your origin story, and also how you started to interact with the club as well.
Yeah, for sure. The origin story kind of starts, I guess, as a villain origin story. It's similar to a few other special guests on the show, like Bernard and Rassam, where my dad actually was a Man United fan growing up. So started with that, and I have a twin brother, and he was he became a United fan through my dad. So growing up, they were. Yeah, so I brought my brother actually to the Liverpool Man U game earlier this season, and that was
perfect.
Oh man, he was fuming by the end. It was great to watch him. He was holding in his reaction by the end. The blood vessels on the side of his head were just going off. It was awesome. But yeah, so growing up, like both my dad and brother were into Man U, and of course sibling rivalry, especially like times 10 when you're a twin. I couldn't support the same team as my brother. I had to find someone new, and so I kind of became the dark sheep in the family and was branching out looking for a team to support. And I came across Liverpool. It was right around like, I guess, 2004, 2005. So of course, like Istanbul, like really inspirational moment. I know that's a big watershed moment for a lot of fans and kind of got them into the team. So that really helped. And then just the you'd never walk alone philosophy, and I still like hair raises, goosebumps every time I hear like a good rendition of it. I think like every fan. So really just love that sense of community and whatnot. And it just seemed the fans were so passionate, and I loved the musical singing element, even though I'm not that musically inclined. So very fun to be a part of. And that's kind of how I got into Liverpool. So then after that, there was some good times. We had the Champions League, and then I think like the FA Cup or the League Cup, but there was quite a few years of mediocrity, kind of, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest. And those are the moments where you get tested, where the metal gets tested. Absolutely. In terms of your fanship. So stuck with the team, you know, few heartbreaks, a few disappointments in terms of the seasons, but always have to stick by your team. And finally, the last 5 years have just been an absolute ride and have been fantastic. And it's hard to believe, like I'm starting to get in a mindset where I forget what it's like to be a fan of a team that maybe doesn't win all the time. And it's like I've become addicted to that winning mentality, and going into each game knowing we have what it takes to win. So that was kind of the long story in terms of how I got into LFC Toronto specifically. So after university, I moved to Toronto here for a job, and was like a big fan, and actually found out vicariously through my girlfriend about this, the old supporters club or supporters bar, Scallywags, rest in peace, was awesome place to catch a game. She went there just casually for a lunch, and she noticed up on the wall some like framed Liverpool jerseys and everything, and like let me know. And I kind of looked into it, and I was like, oh wait, this is the official supporters bar, and where they catch all the games. So started going there like probably circa 2017 or something, and caught a few games. Like I remember the big, I guess it would have been couple years later, the big City game where Fabinho just plots it in from the outside the box, and that was just an incredible moment. So after that, I kind of wanted to get a bit involved in the club. It was interesting, like just the great passion in the community here. So that's when I So then I reached out to the team and asked how I could help out. And so it's been great ever since. I've met so many people, and really the best part has been meeting like friends and kind of the community. I was talking to someone. I've probably met someone from every single continent except Antarctica here, like expats, people from all over the globe, all walks of life, and that really like speaks to both Toronto and probably Liverpool's multiculturalism. So it's really great to just be a part of it and meet so many interesting folks, and can wish for a better fan club and community to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Scally's. Yeah, Scally's.
No, I just got to say, what's that? Yeah, no, Scally's was, but I just got to say, man, like, you know, people have come up to all of us, not just obviously yourself and Azaz, but just like looking at our social media and our presence now, and like just those moments that go viral, like Azaz going crazy after that, you know, Wolves goal, or like those actually mean a lot to people who can't actually be at the pub, right? And during this time, I think that's one thing that really has connected us, kept that bond for those who were able to. And I know this because I do the data for LFC Toronto. There are a lot of fans who are part of this club who live a hell of a lot far from the Madison and ENC and some of those other bars. And so what you do is really, really important for connecting our community and our fan club. And I just want to say thank you. Because that's really important.
Efforts. Yeah, sincerely. Yeah. Kudos.
Appreciate you guys pumping my tires.
Thankless jobs. Thank you. Thankless jobs. Thank you.
Oh, there's lots of good times to be thanked. You can always buy me a pint at the bar. But no, I appreciate it. And honestly, like I've also felt like just that positive impact this fan club makes in the community. Like people reach out over DM and stuff, and they say like, oh, it was my first time, or I brought my son or my kid for the first time to the bar, and they had a fantastic time. And it's just great to see that passion and stuff kind of being passed along, and just a great piece to kind of contribute to. So it's honestly, it doesn't feel like work when you're having fun. So no, I appreciate the opportunity too.
Exactly. Love it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
so talking about our community and our club and our membership, Jake, do you want to just talk about this little thing here, which is going to be quite the event we are hoping.
Who designed that?
A week on Friday.
Yeah. So so you know, we're only as good as our community, and so we appreciate everyone's involvement in just the whole club as a whole, as Christian's kind of mentioning. So what we want to do is we're throwing an event. It's a rewind watch party. We know the score. It's going to be the Barcelona match, the fantastic Barcelona match. And we were able to secure some goodies, some freebies, a couple of pints, some appetizers. And essentially we want to give back to the community. We want to give back to the membership and just be able to say, listen, we appreciate the hard work, the camaraderie, and just the togetherness, and of course to meet your fellow folks, just exactly what Christian is saying, right? We're all walks of life, all denominations, like everyone is included, and we just want to give back to the community and just continue to grow and build on that fantastic momentum. So we do have, we do have musical stylings of this young man, right right here, Dan and the Benny Men. So that, we're going to have some musical stylings from there. And of course, it's such an infectious dynamic, whereas, there are own versions of Jamie Webster, and, kudos to Jamie, but, he has nothing on our guys, right?
No, he has a lot on us. He has a lot on us. I gotta say.
And so,
Jamie, if you're watching, you got a lot, man. You got to come down.
So, you know what? We're going to put on a great, if you're not doing anything on a Friday, please do come out. It's a free event. Please be responsible when you come, make sure you arrive, you get home safe and all that kind of stuff, and with alcohol and all that. But we do have a great, we've got some prizes, we've got some really good things happening. And I think right now, I think we've got 40 or 50 tickets that have already been sold. We're capping at about 90 for our first event. And of course, we're trying to take advantage, specifically the advantage of the 2-week break, right? So, we die in that 2-week break, right? So we die, we want footy. And so, of course, we don't get to see each other in that 2-week period, and we see each other every week for the year. And so this is going to be another dynamic where we have the community come together, and it's going to be a fantastic event. So please do implore you to go on our website, look at that fantastic graphic that's beside.
Oh man,
right
I
there.
just feel so retro right there.
Fantastic,
Suits the soul.
And get your ticket and be part of the community. And there's going to be an event. It's an event that you're not going to be wanting to miss. So please do, I implore you to do that. Get your ticket. Get your ticket.
The one thing I will add as well
is the base.
You can become a new member and still come to this event. So membership's $20. On one meal today at Madison, you can make most of that back. On a second order of some of the discount merchandise, like official merchandise we have with some of our retail partners, the membership's already paid for itself. And then there's free events like this. So we're really looking to grow our community, grow our membership. It all counts. It all adds to us being able to bring the people of the GTA a better Liverpool fan experience, which is what this is all about. So please get involved. We love the community. We love the membership, whether you're a paid member or not. That's not what it's all about. However, for these events like this, like sometimes we sell tickets. Other times, it's like anyone can come. This one is a member-only event because what Jake said, this is more of a thank you to our community. And we're going to be Connor taking Origi and get the Barcelona vibes going from a couple of years ago, because you know what? Something like ridiculous like that might be happening again. Which takes me to the next part of the show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just generally give an overview of where we're at, and then let's just pass the ball around and figure out whoever wants to pick up and talk about, let's just make it into an open debate. But since we last spoke, we lost against Inter. There was the Brighton win. There was the Man City draw on Monday. And then just this evening, we went to the Emirates and won 2-0. All this to say, we are now 1 point behind the blue side of Manchester. Jake, Christian, Dan, what on earth is happening? On January the 15th, I believe it was, we were 14 points behind Man City. Here we're sitting on March the 16th, 1 point behind Man City. Take it away.
Christian, go, buddy. Go.
Oh damn! Was it 14 on January 15th?
Yeah,
I lost track after about 12. I was like, I will fully admit, there's a few of us in the WhatsApp group who started to lose hope. And given City's recent form, I thought, I don't know, 12 points seems pretty hard to come back from. But I know there were some true believers who held through and thought it was gonna pull it out. Yeah, it's insane, the comeback that's happened in the last not even 3 months, like 2.5 months or so, or I guess 3 months officially.
2 months and a day. 2 months and a day.
2 months and a day. Thank you, timekeeper, for keeping me honest there.
The referee.
No, it was great. It was a great performance too. Like kind of all around. It was interesting to see. I haven't seen like a heat map from the game, but like not a lot of play down the center and the center of the pitch. It was like I bet it would be like pretty blue there, and then red hot down the sides. It was like really a battle of the wing backs, and I think our left side really won it for us. Like Robertson was fantastic. Jota, my Portuguese boy, scoring that good goal. I had a friend message me and say weak goal, and I was like, weak keeping, good goal. It was still a good goal. He still hit it as hard as he could. I mean, probably Ramsdale should have chucked his angles a bit more, but it was a dominant performance kind of overall. And besides that one scare from the misplaced pass, really did well. What stood out to me was kind of the aerial domination. Like I know we're not our forward line isn't the tallest, but they do well in the air. So, but when you reverse that and look at Arsenal, they had nothing against our center backs like Matip and VVD were just like Goliaths and were knocking out everything, and they really couldn't do anything from there. So I was surprised by how many times they tried to fling the ball into the box. But overall, I was really impressed with how it went, and I was a little bit nervous just because of it was like probably the most informed team in the league besides us. I'd say we're a little bit more informed now, but it was definitely one of those fixtures that I was looking at with nervous anticipation for. So I'm glad we pulled it out.
I think sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, just going back to Inter, I felt like that was a proper sort of test for us, and they played really well, by the way. Inter, I thought they played really, really well. There were some unlucky, obviously, moments for them, but we were also wasteful, and that kind of thing. I think coming up to this match, or even leading up to this match, I thought, the form guide, we're doing well, and you know what, we're grinding out results. We're not blowing teams away, all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that sort of just changed after today, I don't know, maybe Azaz has said this a lot, and he has full confidence. I know that from day one, and I do too, except for the fact that like I always pay attention to form, how we're playing in a match, early in the match. Are we added? Are we closing spaces? Klopp even talked about it, right? Pre-match on how tight we are to them. In the second half, you saw that. But I felt like with Mo out or having that nagging injury, and then starting on the bench, and it was the first time I felt sort of like comfortable going into a big match, if you know what I mean. And I know Azaz has talked about this before, Jake too, like usually you have this like nervous energy because your front three, you're always dependent on them. It's the big three that we've had for 4 or 5 years now. But then we have Diaz and we have like Diogo, and it's like Mo. I know we didn't play well in the first half, but like even though Mo wasn't there, we still have Mo on the bench and we still have Bobby on the bench, and you're just thinking like, wow, like we have some options now, and that's what breeds the most amount of confidence for me, is that we know VVD, we know Ali had a massive save, but like we're so strong there, and it's like now we have that proper set of options up front, and I don't know, it just breeds a lot of confidence. And then today we saw that in the second half. Sorry, Jake.
I think that I want to echo your sentiments. And so before Diogo and Diaz, right, we had Minamino and basically Origi. They're fantastic players on their own, but those the Colombian and the Portuguese like they're on different levels. And so being able to have like technically today, exactly what you're saying, have $100 million player on our bench that we can just put in. You know, we're talking today in the chat. I don't think it's been a minute where I've had 6-8 attacking influences to this level in all. I can't remember the last time we've had quality like this. And whereas then the fear factor, like imagine you playing an Arsenal team like this in box to box, they did very well. You know, and Arteta said today, we lost it in the 18s essentially, right? And pushing and pushing and pushing. And Martinelli had a fantastic game today as well. And then you're like, oh God, look who's coming on now. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? I have to hustle now. And like now I'm not only keeping my eye here, I'm like, this guy's they're gonna put me in space against Salah, and I'm gonna have to defend a different level. Like, it's just a fantastic perspective, and we've not had that for time, right? And so the Diaz part of this, he's been, you know, we got lucky in terms of like his last several games. He's been seamlessly into the squad, and he is hustling, which is kind of, I don't know if the competition has been raised collectively between the 7-8 of them. Like, I don't know, I'm feeling that a little bit. Like, you can feel that kind of momentum building. And again, I think some of the games that we've spoken about, the Brighton one, the Inter one, we've played some tough, organized squads, right? Like really, really organized squads. The Inter one, you know, the Sanchez red card and whatever else. Maybe we do get a little bit of lucky here and there, you know, in those games. I think we still sometimes our mentality we turn off in certain segments.
Mm-hmm.
I thought today we were a bit passive after the first 3 corners we had in 5 minutes, basically. And we kind of, it looked a little lethargic to a certain degree. We didn't have our midfield kind of control. We just, you know, they closed, you know, the first pass onto the wings, which kind of goes to the next segment of the mid. They cut that off quite well today for the first little bit. And so then, you know, innately when that happens is they have the other options, the middle, the midfielder comes, the center mid comes to kind of support that. We didn't really have that for moments today, which is very interesting. Yeah. But being those mentality monsters that we are, and then getting to win in these moments where we're not fully on in a 90-95 minute match is fantastic, right? Those are the things that were always going against us, right? We always have that against us. And now being able to go like a staunch defending like Brighton team and going through that perspective enters a solid squad, right? Like a solid squad, and having an informed Arsenal, and then seeing how we're going to act and react. Like, you know, Man City, they played Arsenal the other day. You know, we saw some of this stuff, right? They played Brighton. They're tough matches, and we are moving forward, which is fantastic. And the momentum we have is just, you know, it's putting an ear to ear on all of our faces, which is fantastic. And we can't wait to go to watch the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, because the euphoria we have, right? So it bodes very well.
Do you know what, Azaz? I wanted to ask you this just before you jump in, because Jake brought up a good point, and just thinking back at the opponents, right? So we played Inter, but Brighton, Arsenal. All of those are like football playing sides, right? Right, Christian, as well, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're not sitting back like Palace did, and you know, Burnley or someone like that. Like, these are football playing sides, and we're not even at our best, and we're still getting results. Okay, granted, we lost the Inter match. We could have easily won that 4-1, 5-1. What do you think about that in terms of like our like, we're not even in a rhythm really, but we're still getting results? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think maybe it's who we're up against, Man City, that like, I think people feel like rhythm means that you're in that like very slick, very dominant mode, like trying to score the perfect goal kind of thing. Klopp's team, ever since we turned the corner from like 17, 18 onwards, like we are, I mean, some people say heavy metal football. I think that almost dumbs down what it is. I think like 15 to 17, we had heavy metal football, and there was like a lot of like pressing, but then you would often see a bit of like headless chicken isms going on as well. Yeah. And lulls. Yeah. So we'd like push hard and like, but it wasn't
for 25. Yeah.
Yeah. This is its own thing, you know, like it's not the Man City sexy football. It's not the Arsenal, like, invincible sexy football. Like, this is our own vibe. That's what I think. So why we are so dangerous is, firstly, we can beat you in any way. And secondly, it's the strikers. So let's just touch on the first bit, like, we can beat you in any way. What I feel Liverpool do is they try to play their game, but they almost like mirror the team they're playing against. And they're better at that than the other team is. So it's like, you know, if you want to play, like, I don't think, like, against City we might play the sexy football, because we can, and we've got forwards. They've not got forwards. They play midfielders in attack. Like, it's like cool till it's not, right? And like, we play, if we match them the same way, then we can have people actually scoring. So that's one part of it. And then the other element is that forward line has to be, for 5 people, has to be the best in the history of the Premier League. Has to be five forwards that are playing at the same. Like, I know Man United had Tevez, Rooney, Berbatov, and Ronaldo, but that's 4, right? They also had Sheringham, Solskjaer, York, and Cole. I don't know if it ever has been this deep. So you're on 60 minutes, you're bringing on Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah. Like, are you taking the mick? Like, are you taking the mick that you're actually, like, bringing on Mo? And like, we were in the WhatsApp chat, and like, my feedback, my hot take from the first half was, you know why? Like, I understand, like, Mo's not been at his best, but the thing is, even when he's not at his best, what Mo does is, he makes it 8 versus 9, right? Like, it's like,
you saw the difference, right? You actually saw the difference when he came on. It wasn't him even touching the ball; it was him closing players down, pressing, you know, like that. Absolutely. Sorry.
So it's like, so that's who you're bringing on. You're bringing on, and Bobby. Firstly, he's an Arsenal killer. Jota's an Arsenal killer. It's crazy how that stuff happens.
You have a lot of killers.
Used to be, Robbie Fowler used to be an Arsenal killer. So it's funny how that stuff happens. But like, even Robbo on the goal, like, it was like the way we put the like, almost like the proverbial knife to their throat. Like, it wasn't like 1-0 and then under Rafa, or like in a Mourinho team or in a Conte team, like, you'd see the retreat. Look at Atletico last night. Like, Atletico were like, we've won the game. If you don't score, we've won the game, right? So it's all about like, we don't do that, but it doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It still has that edge to it. And then one other thing from today's game is, I know that back pass was terrible, and like, you know, cool. Like, he even joked about it in the post game, Thiago. But that through ball to Jota is like why we bought him. Like, literally, Jota needed to take like 1 or 2 more touches, and then he smacked it. It's almost like Klopp is just in his moment at like this. Like, we've seen great Jurgen Klopps before. We saw it at Dortmund, obviously between 18 and 20, the Jurgen Klopp that for us was great. But this current Jurgen Klopp, then obviously there was the hardships of COVID, and he suffered, of course. You know, he lost a parent, couldn't get home. Like, like same with Ali, you can't even imagine the pain of that. But like, it's almost like he's come back fresh. And this is one of the reasons why, maybe we'll talk about it next week because it's international break. I don't get into this, like, again, you 3 will all know. I don't get into these like press conference leaks. Like, when people ask him a question in press conferences, none of his answers mean anything. You know, like, it's like they ask him about his future and he's like, what do I say now just to get to the next bit? Same with Mo. Like, he's never going to answer the Mo question in the build up to the West Ham game. Like, in the build up to the Brighton game, and that his future was going to be answered in the build up to the West Ham game. But I think these new players like the Harveys, the Curtis, the Diaz, even Jota have like reinvigorated Jurgen, and you're seeing him at the very height of his. Like, I think Jurgen Klopp is better than he's ever been, and I don't think Pep's better than he's ever been. I think Pep's one, if not the greatest coaches of all time, but I think he's been better right? So, like, it's like saying, like, who would you take now, Messi or Salah? You take Salah. Now, Messi's height might be better than, but in 2022, Mo slightly edges him. Same with Klopp. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I'd push back on that. And again, these are rose-colored or red-colored glasses here from a Liverpool fan. But like, I'd push back on that notion of Pep being just a far superior or even greatest of all time. Like, I totally respect him. I think he's up there, top 5, whatever you want to call it. But there's been some amazing managers in history and whatnot. But given the current constraints, the football economics, the dynamics of today's game, man management, you saw what's happened to Chelsea. You've seen, and Tuchel's done a great job, I think, in all of that chaos that's going on there, as compared to, let's say, Ranić, United, for example, where they don't have any of that sort of turmoil in terms of club, but they're all over the place, right? Jurgen's doing this on a somewhat of a fiscal response, like a fiscal responsible way, right? With FSG and the monetary budget that we have. But he's also improving players at the same time. So he's not shipping them out when things don't go wrong, right? I mean, so you look at any of our players, even Robbo and Fab, when they first came in, Thiago as well for a little bit, they weren't starting right away. He had bed them in. His biggest thing is preseason, right? So get the reps and get your energy and fitness levels. If you can keep fit and run, you saw what the running stats are. We are just a dominant team when that happens. Case in point today, we know when to switch it on, go for the jugular. When we scored that first goal, the second goal, if you watch the next 2 minutes to 3 minutes, on them like crazy. And it's like you just turn into, sorry, but Christian, what do you think about that, man? Just like that mentality of like, Jurgen's embedded that, and now to, as I said, like a new generation, it's like you have to play like this or you have to give it, because if you don't, you're out.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like you said, you can see after that first goal, they ratchet up the intensity. Like they don't sit back, and so many teams, and that's a just philosophy thing. Like that's ingrained in their identity. They don't, like, you see like a United, they get a goal and they sit back and they kind of like pat themselves on the back, like, we're doing it, guys, we're winning this game and stuff. And then you end up totally kind of slipping on the banana peel and letting it slide. Whereas Liverpool, they can sense that they need to keep that intensity. Like, you don't win games by not playing to your style. And if you kind of don't put in that intensity and then that energy, you're not going to win it. So I totally agree. Like, Klopp has really drilled into them that kind of common United sense of pressing and energy and just fitness levels. Their infamous kind of preseason training I would not want to be a part of, even though it would get you in great shape, I'm sure, but I would be on the floor in a heartbeat. And to your kind of earlier points, I thought it was interesting, like they do well against those football playing sides, like those Brightons, those like Inters and Arsenal. And for me, I thought, and always when I was watching, it was those sides that sat back and said, like, break us down. Sometimes we struggle on those seasons where we maybe don't pull out a trophy. That was like sometimes our Achilles heel, but it seems like they've kind of solved that dilemma, and they've figured out like what toolkit to use to kind of break those teams down. And it's I think that piece will probably be what maybe clinches the title for us, because we don't get stressed as much. Like, there used to be 70th minute against a team that doesn't break us down, that the nerves start kicking in a tad. And I think Klopp has told them to just relax, like, trust the process, and really something will come, like something good will happen if you keep at it and keep believing as an 11-man unit. So totally agree there.
Okay, so now what? Quadruple is alive. The quadruple is alive, Jets. The quadruple is alive.
Jake, it's the Champions League draw.
Fantastic. Who do we want? Who do we want? I mean, don't get me wrong. When we always talk about the Champions League draw, when we get to this stage, I know Benfica, and they did a number on Ajax. I thought that's, they're both quality sides. But now, like, when you're getting to the stage, is there a bad team? Right? They're all skillful teams. Do we say, again, like, of course, being me as the person I am and the competitive nature that I personally have, I want us to play the best of the best, right?
Hey, man, keep that competitive nature down a bit.
Do we want to like, because I echo all these sentiments, right? Like all these sentiments of who we are, and when we're on, there's no one on the planet that can match us for anything. Pace.
Here's the thing, though.
Ability. Like, who do we want? Like, what do you think?
Jake, though, but like, what do you think about this? Okay, so I want a team who's in this group who we haven't played in a while.
Oh,
because
fine.
the teams that we play with, play against in a while, whether it's the League Cup, Premier League, Champions League now, I don't want City, Chelsea right now because they know us and they know how to play us.
Fine.
If you get matched up against, let's say, Bayern, yeah, okay, we haven't played Bayern in a long time and there's going to be some scouting, but they don't know our intensity. They haven't felt that. They're in a different league. They're in a different mindset. Real, I mean, you could say Real knows us, but do they know us this season, right? Like they know us last season when we were like dropping points because of ridiculous injuries, bad champions. I hate that. I hate that moniker that we've been like slapped. Oh, bad champions. Oh yeah. Well, if you lose every single defender, like, what do you think? Like, you're going to be like great champions? Like, come on. Anyway, and we still qualified third. One of the best achievements you'll ever see. Sorry, a little tangent right there. But no, I think if we can get somebody who we're not matched up against for a while, I feel like we can spring a 5-0 like against Porto. Remember we did that like a couple times, or a Villarreal. I mean, they look really impressive today, but it's Juve, and Juve you'd expect more from. But I don't know. I feel like if we can get that sort of surprise side, rather than our familiar foes that we always face, that'd be sort of beneficial. What do you think of that?
I think that I want Benfica and Villarreal. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Sorry, Christian.
What do you mean? City's going to get them, right? Right. City's going to get them. Right?
Yeah. Christian, do you have a Portuguese team?
Yeah. Benfica is usually the team I support. When I was a kid, I visited my grandma, and they had just won the Superliga or the Liga NOS, and we celebrated by painting the town red and partying. But I mean, like, just making it to the quarterfinals is good because of the coefficient ranking. So like, that's all I care about really, is them making it far, because then I think didn't League One drop out of the official top 5 leagues this year because Portugal, the Portuguese league knocked them out of it. So like, as long as they can do that, and they've done that by getting it to the quarterfinals, they've done their job. And I'd take a Benfica, but I'd also, as you made a point in the WhatsApp group about having Real, I do want that element of revenge. I'm still salty about those losses. First of all, the final, that was the precarious final. It was a very precarious situation with our boy in net. So hopefully we can come back. And then, like you said, Dan, we were the walking wounded, and we got put out during that period where, when we do slip, it's always that January, like February, that turn of the year is when that form kind of slips a little bit. So I'd love a little bit of revenge against Real, and I think we could do it. Like they're definitely one of the tougher teams, but I don't think they have the level of pedigree that they used to, and they're still rebuilding. So I think we could get them this season.
So yeah, if we're doing it in like some kind of order, to me, Benfica and Villarreal are number one, because you're talking 1 and 1A, 1B, because Benfica 3rd in the Portuguese league, Villarreal are 7th in La Liga. That game is either side of the Man City game on April the 10th. So for that reason, I want one of those two. I get the heavyweight clashes. I get this is Liverpool, and like, but we've seen it in previous years as well. Like in our run to the final, we just had like a game against a Porto or someone. Like, it is possible to have an easier run. That's my inkling. I don't fear anybody though. We are the form team in Europe. So that Inter 1-0 doesn't even come into my mind, because we had won the tie in San Siro. And also, to Dan's point, maybe 10 minutes ago, the game's actually a 4-1 game. 4-0, arguably, because they didn't need that goal's a wonder goal. And I think the XG of that game was 3.6 to Liverpool and 0.6 to Inter. So it was actually a 3-0 game. So yeah. Dan, you're
when we won the Champions League, though, didn't we do, wasn't it Bayern and Barcelona as quarterfinals, semis? Like, yeah. We do That's like proper. To go up against the big ones. Like, I think we play up to their level. Like, when we're on par or slightly underdogs, we play better than maybe when we're super favorites and we're like the ones expected to win. I think like we do seem to pull out our best performances. So I'd like to see a tough run, because I think we could do it, even though you're right. The City game, that isn't ideal for a scheduling perspective, but.
So I'm going to throw out a hypothetical to you guys. I'm going to throw it to each of you, okay? We get drawn against City in the Champions League. So we play the, 3 matches, right? Back to back, right? Sandwiched in between the Premier League match. Where do we play our strongest team? And you could say, match after match, but which one do you prioritize? And which leg? Say that we have the reverse leg. So the second leg's at Anfield, first leg's at the Etihad. Which match, 1, 2, or 3, would you prioritize based on what you know now?
Ooh.
Jake, what do you think?
I want to win. So the difference is, one of the differences, when we won the Prem,
hard-hitting questions, bro. Hard-hitting questions.
We won the Prem and we didn't have fans. That was a very tough dynamic. That was a very tough dynamic to watch that happen. For just the players itself, I'd want them to go to the Etihad in the Prem and beat them, and then continue on. Knock on wood, we win everything we have left and win the Prem outright like that, right? That would be my hope, that we would go on that run, because just simply from that perspective, because we were all literally gutted because we can't fly there, we couldn't do anything, we couldn't be part of the parade, we couldn't be part of that, and of course everyone laughed. We would do it. I want, just for that reason alone, just to go on that run and just be like, listen, this is what we are, this is what we've done in the past, and we're doing it again in your house. This is what's going to happen, and that would be my 2 cents.
Christian, what do you think? Which one
strongest 11, the April 9th or April 10th game. I don't know. I think they might be 10th. Moving it to the April 9th if we get the Tuesday or whatever. Definitely strongest 11 in the Prem. And then I'd say we'd play maybe do a Diaz, Mane, and Jota for the first leg. Rest Salah, so he's prime and ready. Comes out on the Saturday, destroys Man City, puts on a golazo or 2, and then we play another strong 11 on the following. I guess it would be whatever day, the Tuesday maybe, and stuff. But I'd go same with Jake, strong 11 in the Prem, because I don't know. I want to see the collapse too. I'm loving it's not necessarily City's collapse. It's more of us playing to an insane level that they're starting to get worried. There's no we're in their head for sure. We're living rent free, and I think
Bernardo Silva.
I think if we come back and can do it, it'll also just be. Would it be a record or a historic comeback in terms of 14 points in January? Do you know?
Yeah. So there's a few parallels. One is 98 when Arsenal overturned Man U. I believe that was 12. And in 96, Man U overturned Newcastle, and I believe that was 12.
That's right.
The 14 is they did have games in hand on us, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, there was a league table at the end of a game, and Man City were 14 points clear of us. And we've only caught the game up today. Since this has been going for 2 months, where we've always been a game behind them. So I almost think it makes it even worse, because there's that carrot and thing to say, maybe if you win your games in hand, you can get close to us. It doesn't matter. It was 14 points, and we weren't even second then. Chelsea were second at that point. So that just shows how crazy this is. When Man City went 14 points clear of us, they were actually 13 points clear of Chelsea. And we've actually done this after that. So them coming down versus, it's almost they're not playing badly, number one.
No,
they played pretty well on Monday.
They played well,
yeah. But it's it's the momentum, it's the whole 9 wins in a row. Anytime any team puts a run like that together, you really start to see things happen.
Do you know what though? Did you notice something in that Palace match where Palace are well organized, and Vieira has his philosophy, but whenever Man City starts strong, and they always do, right? They always start match, they dominate the ball and everything. I always, whenever I watch them, I always watch the other team and their mentality, how hard they're actually sort of playing and believing that they can even get a result. Because a lot of the times teams actually admit defeat before it's even, the whistle goes at the end of the game. And I felt teams now are approaching City, seeing them as like, we can actually get something from them. You know, like before it was just out of sight, out of mind. They had strikers like Aguero and, you know, Dzeko and some of those guys, and you just like, okay, it's lights out right now. Like they're gonna pass through us or whatever. But they don't have that fear factor up front, I feel, anymore. And maybe, yeah, you know what, they have a ton of options. They play beautiful football, all that kind of stuff, but they're just not doing it. And that's what gives me a bit more confidence than, let's say, in prior years where they just lights out. But anyway, that being said, the quadruple's still on.
So that being said, what we're moving on to what our historical and one of our historical rivals in terms of Forest.
Yeah,
right? That should be an interesting encounter on this weekend, this Sunday. So what do we think? What are we going to play in that? What team's going to be put out on that?
First of all, I'm just going to say justice for the 97. And, you know, going back in history, that was actually an FA Cup tie. Was the last time actually we faced them, was that match. So
yeah,
just thinking back to that day, and obviously like everything that's followed, but just wanted to say that. But yeah, it's going to be a hell of a fixture. Christian, what do you think?
I haven't been following Nottingham too much. I think they have a few young Portuguese talents keeping in check with the scene. So I think they've been carrying them well. But like honestly, if we play a strong 11, I don't see it being a huge issue. Are we going there? We're going there, right? Or
yeah, we're away.
It's away,
that'll be a rocking crowd and atmosphere. Because the two most winningest sides or English sides in Europe, is that the case or no longer the case? I know they have
Man U have got three. Man U have got
okay.
Three. Yeah. They apparently you can be a big club and have 3 Champions Leagues. Okay,
so should be a good one.
One's an asterisk because of Terry slipping, but I mean, hey, yeah.
Sorry? I've heard Dan throw out some predictions on these podcasts before,
so man, I don't know if
I should throw out one. I'm thinking, I believe in our defense. Like Robbo was fantastic. He was clearing everything at the far post, saving the day a couple of times today. So I'm thinking we're getting maybe a clean sheet and I don't want to say comfortable, but a 2-0 victory again. We might do it a 2 or 3 maybe.
Nice. That's what do you think, man?
Oh, yeah. I'll go next. Go. Yeah, I mean, who's going to play? I feel like the cool thing about that is at this stage of the season, we're not going to start to see like the Bradleys and, you know, like the younger, the Mortons. I think that's almost done for the season. So I would say Kelleher in goal. I think Trent will play, or if not, Millie can play right back. Costas, maybe, you know, Robbo can play as well. I know Robbo's got a big game for Scotland. So Costas or Robbo against a championship team. I feel like Costas has enough. Like, no disrespect to Forest or the league, but like Costas is a international player. The centre backs is tough, man, because like if we play our big two, like Man Mountains, like I almost think that's enough. Like it doesn't even matter what else we do. But the other two need minutes as well, right? Like Joe Gomez, like could be needed. He's been rusty so far, and that's not his fault. It's just because everybody's in the swing of things and has momentum. But I'm just gonna chicken out and say Virgil and one of the other 3, like Virgil and Joe Gomez. There you go.
Or Ibu like even,
yeah. In midfield, I feel. Is Brazil doing anything this time round? Like,
I don't know. I don't think they.
Yeah. I'd love to see Harvey. I'd be happy to see Curtis. Definitely give Hendo a rest. I'd love to see Naby. I know that's gonna make somebody happy.
Waited for it, man. Jeez, gotta say it, bro. Come on.
Yeah. You know what I'm here for? I'm 100% here for Thiago's like run today. Like even again, there was moments today where he wasn't at his best, but like when you then look at the sum of his parts and his stats. But no, Naby and Harvey, not sure who I'd play in the holding because I've just said rest Hendo, but I would rather rest Fab. So maybe Hendo or Millie or like a combination of that. And then up front, Salah and Mane have got their big showdown this international break. So
they need to rest, I feel.
Yeah. So I think that means Firmino. and Jota have to play, and Diaz. That's a good enough team to beat Nottingham Forest, surely, right?
Yeah.
What about Ox? Do you think Ox gets a run?
Maybe.
Ox gets a shout, or maybe.
Maybe.
He's been sort of like the odd man out. Taki or Div. I mean, think about that. Like they're also back. Taki, I feel, deserves one. He's just been on obviously great form in the Carabao. But I feel like he, is. I mean, the thing is, it's knockout now, right? So you like, if you want the quadruple, you need to play somewhat of a decent or strength side, right? So I don't know.
I mean, this is a cup final for them, right? This is a cup final for Forest, right? We have to play hard. We have to play well enough. Of course, we have the talent on different levels to just be able to keep our quadruple alive, right? First and foremost, and play some solid football, like not deviate from our current form. We have the players to do it. What will they chop and change? Will they chop? I think a good 4-5 solid players will be rotated out. I think. Depending on if Fabinho is gone, then who's going to play the holding midfielder? I know we want to rest Hendo. Let's see who plays in that role. Again, I don't know who's going to be put out. Like, I guess Diaz is going to Colombia. Is there a Colombia thing going on as well? So I guess
I think so.
Let's see who our options. Let's see who our options are. But I think it bodes well for a good Sunday fixture. So, one thing I want to do is I just want to send a quick shout out to my good friend Rassam and just some of the O Sesame products. You can see this, the O Sesame products. He's supporting our group, and I just wanted to shout out to Rassam and O Sesame crew.
Is Rassam still alive, or is he did he make it out of the venue? Did he make it out?
So Rassam from our club, his wife is an Arsenal fan. She was there today. It was it was a bit of a family affair. She was a great sport.
Was it a family affair? Was it domestic? Was it a domestic?
We didn't. I didn't know.
Someone's on the couch today. So.
I'll be eating his sesame on the couch.
That's for dinner.
That's his dinner.
Yeah. So next week, what we can also do is just map out how these fixtures are going to go as well, because I feel like we got to try and unpick this, because it's like Champions League City, Champions League FA Cup, Man U, Everton. Like that's literally what our run's going to be. So I feel like next week, because we'll know the Champions League draw, we'll know the FA Cup draw.
Potentially,
potentially, of course, yeah. Like if we're through, so we'll know how that whole thing is going to unfold.
Yeah, and remember, like this match on Sunday is not going to be a cakewalk, right? I mean, they beat Spurs. They beat who's the other team? Leicester, I think. Was it Leicester? Someone else?
Leicester.
I forget.
Leicester. Yeah. They beat,
right.
No, they beat Arsenal. They beat Arsenal.
No, Arsenal too. Yeah. So
yeah.
Like it's not like we're coming up against like nobodies, right? I mean, and there's going to be that hunger, but I just like one more match to Wembley. Another Wembley semi. It's going to be amazing. So hopefully we play the strength that we need. But Jurgen's on fire right now, so let's see and let's hope.
Perfect. I think that brings us to an end. As always, thank you, Dan and Jake and Christian. It was so great for you to join us, and
yes,
you got to come back. You got to come back for sure.
Yes, this was a blast. Appreciate it, guys, and looking forward to hopefully some more good times on Sunday, and then we can keep talking about the quadruple, keep on believing and dreaming.
Absolutely.
Jake, just to take us home, just one more time. What's this?
You know what? It's the rewind. It's our member appreciation. So please, implore you, get a ticket. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dan and the Benny Men singing and serenading us all. Going to be some pints, food, great ambiance, togetherness, and family. So please go to our website and get some tickets. Yes, Dan.
Just one small note to that. Okay, so I played at the holiday party, but guess what? We had Ahmed and we had Azaz come up and friggin' kill it on the mic. So we need more of our members singing. I'll just play. You guys sing. So Christian, bring your voice, man. Bring your a voice box, whatever you want to call it. Jake, bring your
Yes,
whatever you do, you know.
Anyways,
and
it's all you. It's all you. But we will support you, as we said, anyways, because that's who we are. We never walk alone, buddy. We never walk alone.
Wow, you brought that. Wow, okay, amazing. No, looking forward to it.
Have a great one, and we shall see you this time next week. Bye.